There's got to be a new scorekeeper after this. Billy can commit lawfare when Galaxies ran out of money fighting it. And this is, Guinness did the same thing, if you remember, right? I've heard Karl Jobst is on suicide watch. They reinstated his scores. That was
Karl already put out a video about this.
Did he really?
I guess so.
I would have known that.
Does that mean Billy won? Did Twin Galaxies
Yes. Yes.
This does sound like a cope, I gotta be honest, so far.
His scores are not going back onto the official leaderboards, and he's still
Oh, that's a win! Today, on January 16th, Twin Galaxies reinstated all of the video games world records that I have achieved in my career. Effective immediately, Twin Galaxies statement on the website. In fair consideration of expert opinion provided by Dr. Zeta, I'd like to know who that is, on behalf of Mr. Mitchell, and in context of Twin Galaxies' dedication to a meticulous documentation. See, they're trying to save themselves. Twin Galaxies not be the scorekeeper. There's got to be a new scorekeeper after this. And preservation of video game score history. Twin Galaxies shall herefore reinstate Mr. Mitchell's scores on official historical database and Twin Galaxies. They're going to restore the first perfect Pac-Man too, even though that didn't even happen. That happened like 20 years earlier or 10 years earlier. So they're going to restore it all. Well, let me read through this. Okay. Billy Mitchell does not have the right to be on any. They could take him off even if he does have the world record legitimately. That's why Mitchell sued for defamation for Twin Galaxies. Defamation. Not that they couldn't keep him on or off, okay? They've been fighting this thing for years. It's obvious that Billy's got free lawyers or something. I just cannot believe, or he is a lot richer than he's letting on, right? Because objectively, he's always done a horrible job at this. I personally don't think the evidence is stacked against him just by the way MAME draws and the way the original arcade hardware draws. This is just, they tapped out. Billy can commit lawfare. Twin Galaxies ran out of money fighting it. And this is, Guinness did the same thing, if you remember, right? Do you remember that?
No clue.
Am I here alone here? Oh, what the fuck?
No, I was just trying to think about the Guinness story.
Guinness
I have no idea.
Guinness, he threatened to sue them, and they reinstated his scores.
Huh.
So,
that was quite a while ago.
Yeah,
and I remember that was pretty short-lived, wasn't it? He just basically fired back, and they gave in immediately.
Right, immediately.
Yeah,
that's funny.
Immediately. I mean, like it doesn't.
Like, we don't care that much.
This should be a lesson to all you children. Just because you're right in court doesn't mean you win. The evidence is just overwhelming. They even have a picture of an illegal joystick. Now, I've heard Karl Jobst is on suicide watch. But I don't even know if this will affect his case. They'll certainly use it. Like they reinstated his scores. I don't think the judge, I'm pretty sure if the Australian judge says, but we're not America, we're not Twin Galaxies, we think it's legitimate to say you're cheating based on the evidence that's presented to us. I think you could still win. But this definitely makes it more difficult.
Yeah, the best thing you can do when you have money is pretend like you don't have as much money as you do.
Mm-hmm.
And then 6 years down the line, the people you're suing run out of money and you just fuck them.
That's ran out of money.
Come over.
That's it. They ran out of money. There is plenty of videos on YouTube that say, I mean, like being on part of Twin Galaxies, it's just Twin Galaxies saying the scores are legit, even though they fought it for years, right? You don't have to believe the scores are legit. And you can base that opinion off of several YouTube videos, unless he's going to go and sue each YouTuber one at a time. And if that's
it does
the case,
say pursuing my unfinished business. So,
like how he said, never surrender too.
Yeah, dude, that is the
never surrender, Billy Mitchell.
Never surrender.
And him and Tipster both stealing valor. Never give up.
It just kind of goes to show you, especially if this is in Europe, it would never happen. Never happen. Because you got to pay the other guy. If you lose after a ridiculous lawsuit or any kind of lawsuit, you got to pay the other guy's legal bills for wasting their time. And that's the one thing in the United States that they don't want. They've done things like slap lawsuits and stuff like that. That's the one thing they don't want to do in the States. So yeah, like if you're a lawyer, you're not going to pass any legislation that would hold like bullshit lawsuits, people accountable or make it more difficult.
Whoa, punishing ourselves? Come on, guys.
Yeah,
think
exactly.
About it.
Bingo.
That's insane.
Bingo. So my opinion is he cheated. Here's another. They took away his first to 1 million accomplishment on Donkey Kong, right? And they gave it to Steve Wiebe. But now that these scores are back, I guess officially under Twin Galaxies, the first guy to hit 1 million is now Billy Mitchell again. That would be the King of Kong movie. But I mean, I know that was.
Oh, Karl already put out a video about this.
Did he really? I
guess so.
I'd have known that.
Let's check.
Unbelievable.
Hello, you absolute legends. In April of 2018, Billy Mitchell, self-proclaimed video game player of the century, was banned.
I hope that he did this and touch base with his lawyers.
From Twin Galaxies after it was discovered that he had cheated multiple Donkey Kong world records. Twin Galaxies would post their decision in a public statement, saying that the tapes of Billy's world record show gameplay that could not come from an original, unmodified arcade cabinet. This meant that Billy was lying about how he achieved his scores. A year later, Billy sued Twin Galaxies for defamation, and for the past 5 years, this insane legal battle—
Not because they took the scores down. That's a losing cause. They sued him for defamation. They sued him for saying he cheated.
Over video game high scores has dragged on. Well, on the 11th of January 2024, it all came to an end. Yep, it's over. While everyone on the internet was getting prepared with their popcorn to witness the circus of Billy Mitchell in court, the two parties were doing everything they could to avoid trial. The simple truth is that everyone knew Billy had zero chance of winning. It's a proven fact he cheated, and there are mountains and mountains of evidence confirming that. But trial is insanely expensive, and while it would be nice for Billy to be destroyed by a jury, and it'd make for some amazing content, no one involved wanted to go through it. Billy knew he was going to lose. Billy's lawyers knew he was going to lose, and they were desperate to settle and avoid the humiliation of defeat. So they worked out a deal with Twin Galaxies, and the parties settled. Today, we are going to look at what that settlement means, because I'm sure you're all asking, if they settled, does that mean Billy won? Did Twin Galaxies
Yes. Yes. In this case, he still, he can always turn around. Look, they accused him of cheating, right? They accused him of cheating, and then they came back and reinstated his scores.
This does sound like a cope, I gotta be honest, so far.
Yeah.
recant their statements? Did they admit they were wrong? Are Billy's scores being reinstated? Is Billy unbanned? Did Billy even really cheat? Yes, you fool. Of course he cheated. But as far as the other questions are concerned, in this video I will break it down.
My question is, what happens to you?
There is a part of this settlement that is absolutely hilarious, because Billy Mitchell managed to find a university professor willing to put his entire career on the line to defend Billy, and his explanation as to why Billy's tapes look the way they do is one of the stupidest things I've ever seen in my life. I really hope you enjoy. Billy Mitchell and Twin Galaxies officially settled on the 11th of January, but it wasn't until earlier today that Twin Galaxies released an official statement. Here is what it said. On April 12, 2018, Twin Galaxies removed all of Mr. Mitchell's scores and banned Mr. Mitchell from competing on Twin Galaxies' competitive leaderboards. This was centered upon a technical basis of what Twin Galaxies believed to be a demonstrated impossibility of original unmodified Donkey Kong hardware to produce images shown in the videotaped recordings of some of the disputed adjudicated performances. The basis for this decision was an independent investigation by Twin Galaxies, supported by a series of detailed submissions, experiments, and analyses by Twin Galaxies and from the Twin Galaxies community, each with varying degrees of technical expertise and access to equipment. Recently, on behalf of Mr. Mitchell, Dr. Michael Zyder, an individual who holds a Bachelor of Arts in Computer and Information Science from University of California, San Diego, a Master's of Science in Computer and Information Science from the University of Massachusetts, Amherst, and a Doctorate of Science from the University of Washington School of Engineering, and who has been qualified as an expert by California and federal courts, concluded that the gameplay on these subject tapes could in fact depict play on original unmodified Donkey Kong arcade hardware if the hardware involved was malfunctioning, likely due to degradation of components.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable. If it, like, my experience with electronic failure, it's binary. It's working or it's not. There's no in between. It's not like a car that slowly rakes down. Like if one chip goes on the board, that's it. It's done. So he's saying it functioned exactly like MAME because the components were. I mean, they're over 40 years old. I mean, they're like whatever it was 30 years old when the record was set. You know, some of these boards are going to go, one day. Some of your consoles aren't going to work one day. Sorry, but that is unbelievable.
So basically, Billy paid a so-called expert to say it's possible that Billy's tapes show gameplay that looks like emulation because his hardware malfunctioned. I won't go over his entire statement here, but I will do an entire video on this guy soon because his statement is one of the dumbest things I've ever seen. For a quick recap, we know that Billy's records were done on emulation because of how the levels load. They look completely different between...
Yeah, and what are the odds of them loading exactly like MAME when they're malfunctioning? What are the odds?
Yeah.
That
is oddly specific.
MAME and arcade. All of Billy's tapes show MAME loading screens for every level. The way the levels draw on each frame is very different, and Billy's tapes match MAME exactly. So we are talking about 9 hours of footage over 3 games, covering a span of 6 years, and they are all identical to MAME. This is just a proven fact at this point. And because Billy lied in order to hide the fact these scores were done on MAME, means that he almost certainly used save states and other banned tools in order to cheat. If you want a really good breakdown, I recommend a video by Veritas, who explains all of the technical reasons for the differences. It's easily the best video on Billy Mitchell ever made. It's 4 hours long, and you absolutely should watch it.
See in court, Veritas.
Yeah, 4 fucking hours. Fuck me, man.
Yeah, I watched it.
No way.
I watched it.
I
Put a
knew
link
all
in the
4 hours? Yeah, all fucking 4 hours.
No, I kept it on my the other screen here while I was playing games. But yeah, and if there was, so I just pause it, and if it's something I needed to see.
But in short, we know that Billy's tapes came from MAME and can prove it. According to Billy's expert, this Michael Zyder, Billy's tapes look like MAME because maybe the hardware malfunctioned. Now, he doesn't provide any evidence for this, he doesn't provide any explanation or mechanism, he just claims a malfunction can do this, and doesn't substantiate it whatsoever. His statement is extremely stupid. For example, he claims...
wouldn't have stood up in court, and that's the idea. Drag this out there where somebody taps and somebody tapped.
Claims that maybe Billy's tapes look like MAME because when you copy a VHS tape, it can cause visual artifacts. Or maybe Billy didn't clean his VCR
the exact artifact
before he made his copies, so that's why they look like MAME. It's really that dumb. So Billy finds this idiot professor willing to say ridiculous things for money, and Twin Galaxies says, well, we think he cheated, but if you want to put your career on the line and say...
I don't take people like Destiny too seriously, because he always goes these college guys, well, this guy said this, I proved my point because this college said that, or that expert said that, or that expert said this. What if they're corrupt? Oh, the CDC says we need to stay inside forever. What if they're corrupt? I don't know.
Say Billy didn't cheat, you can take all of the heat. Twin Galaxies continue in their statement. In fair consideration of the expert opinion provided by Dr. Zyder on behalf of Mr. Mitchell, and consistent with Twin Galaxies' dedication to the meticulous documentation and preservation of video game score history,
an appeal authority fallacy won in court.
Twin Galaxies shall heretofore reinstate all of Mr. Mitchell's scores as part of the official historical database on Twin Galaxies' website. A lot of people will read that and think that Twin Galaxies are reinstating Billy's scores, but that is not what's happening. What they have done is create an archive of the version of the Twin Galaxies the new owner Jace Hall bought in 2014, and they're adding that onto the website as something you can view for historical purposes. It's basically like the Wayback Machine for Twin Galaxies.
Wait a minute. I didn't know this. Yeah.
And you could literally achieve the same effect by just using the Wayback Machine. It's a snapshot of what the database was like 10 years ago, including all of the known cheated scores, and including all of the fraudsters like Todd Rogers
What about the one that's current?
Billy Mitchell that have been exposed since then.
No,
Billy is getting nothing of value here. His scores are not going back onto the official leaderboards, and he is still...
Oh, that's a win!
Yep.
That's a win! That's a win! They lost!
Now, wait. Before you continue, go back to the tweet and now read it and see what you think.
Which
Go back to the Billy Mitchell tweet that he made.
Okay.
Yeah, Billy's tweet.
That one.
Okay, and let's see. I'm relieved, unsatisfied to reach a resolution after a 6-year-old deal. Looking forward to pursuing my unfinished business.
First 2 lines.
First,
Yeah.
Today on the 26th, reinstated all of my video game world records that I achieved in my career. Effective immediately. Twin Galaxies statement on the website reads, in pertinent part, the fair consideration of the expert opinion provided by Dr. Zeta on behalf of Billy Mitchell, and consistent with Twin Galaxies' dedication to, what is that word? Magdalonius? What does that say?
Meticulous.
Oh, sorry. Meticulous documentation and preserve of the video game score history. Oh. Twin Galaxies shall herefore reinstate Mitchell's scores as a part of an historical database. See, when I read that the first time, it was like that the thing is historical. Okay.
So then it is kind of a win if you read the fine print.
I don't think it's a win. No, yeah, you like
No,
before we found out you cheated in 2008, you were on the list. I don't think. Yeah, like you said, you can do it with the way back machine.
That's very different from Twin Galaxies has reinstated all of the video game world records that I've achieved.
Exactly.
Yeah,
That's
it
not
is
the same.
very
They reinstated
different,
they removed them for all the historical stuff. Very creative by Twin Galaxies. Okay, sure.
It's just like back on the website.
But when the media goes up to look to who the top guys are, he ain't on the list.
Yeah, he's on a different database.
If you have 1 million in Donkey Kong, you're on that list. You're right. The scores haven't gone up that high. You're on the list. So that score is not there. Nice.
Banned.
Karl Jobst never. I thought he was going to take an L. Oh my God.
Literally all he has is some professor saying that maybe
Just let him believe, Tommy.
What a sigh of relief.
Yeah, and every time he's going to turn around and say, look, I'm on the list, and then... But when people look him up, they're not going to... I can't find it. Oh, look at this one.
just maybe
Just
his
start
arcade machine
replying to Billy Mitchell. Just start replying to Billy Mitchell with screenshots of the Wayback Machine. That'll really piss him off.
That's so funny.
malfunctioned
He's back
3
on
times
a
over
list,
Yeah,
but not the list.
not the list.
6 years in
Yeah.
a way that perfectly matches MAME. Twin Galaxies hasn't changed their opinion, which is why he is still banned. Twin Galaxies did not say their original statements weren't true, which is why his scores aren't being put back up to the current ranks. Twin Galaxies didn't want to go to trial, and they said, hey, if your expert wants
Billy probably didn't either.
to ruin his reputation by saying moronic things like maybe Billy didn't clean his VCR properly, so be it. Twin Galaxies acknowledges Billy's expert, but nowhere in their statement do they endorse or agree with his statements. This could not be the result Billy wanted, and I assume his lawyers basically forced him to settle. There is no way they didn't know Billy was a cheater
Boy,
by
I didn't see this coming at all.
this point.
Get fucking Diorio in here.
He's probably working on the video.
Get off. Come on,
Dude, let the guy finish his video.
fuck
Come on.
him. Fuck him. He's been
We want the
teasing-
video. Fuck you.
He's
We
been telling
want
me
the
about
video.
this forever. He's been rubbing it in my face. Get in here. Get in here. Everybody fucking hit him on Twitter, everything. You tell him to
We're like
do that.
spam Diorio.
Now.
I just DM'd him. We'll see.
Get in here. At Nicholas Diorio on X. Where the hell
Not
are you?
X.
Nick. Oh God. I wonder if he teased me and let me believe. I just let
Did
him
he
believe.
just like make fun of you over it?
Kinda. Not too much.
And they really hated all of the negative press people like me were giving them. And this is one of the reasons I went so hard on Billy's lawyers. Obviously, Billy is insane, but his lawyers aren't. Putting innocent people through a lawsuit is categorically evil. It makes you a monster. It ruins
Welcome to America. Come on. You can
Well,
tell
this happens
he's not
every day.
American.
Let's not get crazy.
Yeah, let's not get. Well,
It's not just
he's
Billy
in a country
Mitchell.
that has loser pays. He can't grasp how evil we are.
people's lives. His lawyers were absolutely complicit in this, and that should never be forgotten. Initially, they would have been naive and didn't know the truth, but by the end, it was obvious they knew Billy was a con
I can
man,
promise you-
applying pressure to his
Lawyers like that are not naive. You can just
lawyers
forget about
was
that part.
That's so funny.
one way to try and make
How we tell Billy, we know you're lying, right? Just take this best deal we can get you.
them want to settle as quickly as possible. There is one thing that Billy wins, though,
Knowing
and
how
that's the
stupid
fact
Billy is, they probably tricked him into thinking he was reinstated. Yeah, all good. Let's,
Oh, that'd be
let's do
too
it.
funny if that was the case.
That'd be hilarious if you like believed
That
that.
autismo.
Dude, they're bringing you back, man. I think we're done
You're
here.
back, dude.
the Twin Galaxies is dropping
Your
their
name is on the
countersuit
website.
against him for fraud, so he definitely dodges a bullet there. Personally, I'm not sure how successful that would have been, and I feel as though it was just Twin Galaxies
Hold on a second.
and make them want to settle as quickly as possible. There is one thing that Billy wins, though, and that's the fact that Twin Galaxies is dropping their countersuit against him for fraud, so he definitely dodges a bullet there. Personally, I'm not sure how successful that would have been, and I feel as though it was just Twin Galaxies trying to throw a wrench into the works and dissuade Billy from continuing his own action. Perhaps this is why Billy accepted such a pathetic settlement, because he was truly afraid of the upcoming trial. You know what's really
Makes
funny
sense.
though? And this might give you an indication of how Twin Galaxies really feels. They recently launched a merch store, and when you go there, the first things you see are shirts and mugs showing the difference between arcade and MAME. These are hilarious.
Oh, that's
I assure you,
hilarious.
I am not sponsored by Twin Galaxies,
That's
but I really think you
hilarious.
should go
That
and
is
show some
hilarious.
support
Yeah.
by buying a mug or a shirt. Twin Galaxies have been quietly fighting Billy Mitchell for 5 years.
I know
They
that I'm
never
getting
complained,
Tommy for
they never
Christmas.
asked anyone for anything. They went
I
through
want-
hell
I-
standing up to a gigantic
I'm
want one,
buying
Tommy.
I am getting one immediately. Immediately.
piece of shit on behalf of the gaming community, and I think they deserve some love. So please go and have a look at their store. The link
I think, the best. You know, the worst thing about this for me personally is Twin Galaxy, although it's always been a bit corrupt, lose all credibility if he goes in the main bid. If he's just an historical, well, he was the title holder because the tech hadn't caught up with him in 2008 and 10 and 12 and 13 and 14. Okay, that's historically accurate. At that time, he was a champion. All right, but he's not anymore. And he doesn't deserve to be. And this is great news. This is, for Twin Galaxies, is great news. They get to keep their credibility, and he can run around saying he's got all these freaking records, right? And then the current one doesn't mean anything. When you go to look up Billy Mitchell and you check up the scores on Twitter, he's not on there. You have to go to the historical one. This is the one. This is what it was in 2013. You know, well, what is it now? And then there's been so much press over this over the years. It's like, well, why was he removed? Oh, he cheated. Oh, there you go.
link will be in the description. Ultimately, I know everyone is going to be disappointed with this because we all really wanted
I'm
to
not.
see Billy get destroyed in court. But
I'm not. I don't want to see Twin Galaxies get destroyed. I don't want them to, like, it's not even that. Like, Jace Hall bought that. He's probably still owes money on. Jace loves video games, and he took on this mess of a company because he wanted this company to actually be something, you know, or this leaderboard to be something. Because look, when I was a kid, Twin Galaxies was the record keepers. There was no real way to deny them one way or another. King Kong comes out. You found out they're a bunch of fucking nerdy crooks, you know. And then this thing breaks about 6 years ago between Todd Rogers and him. And then now Jace Hall has it. And he stood up for the integrity of the thing the best he could. I think this is I got to give Jace Hall a lot of credit. I thought he never wanted to get into it. He wanted to use Billy as one of their guys to promote Twin Galaxies. He wasn't, if you go back to the original part of the story, he was not quick to throw Billy under the bus. When it became undeniable, he fought it to the end.
it would have cost hundreds of thousands of dollars for Twin Galaxies. Money I don't think they even have. And the outcome would have been exactly the same, with Billy remaining banned and his scores not going
Man, too, these adults are suing each other over a fucking video game score. I mean, this is serious.
back up to the ranks. However, Billy is not out of the woods yet, because he still has this little thorn in his side, yours truly. Billy cannot escape his lawsuit against me, and when I say that, I mean he literally cannot escape. If Billy dropped his lawsuit against me, he would immediately lose, and would instantly owe me hundreds of thousands of dollars. So our lawsuit is going to trial, and hopefully that's going to be relatively soon. So if you are hoping for at least some fireworks, there will definitely be some juicy courtroom drama still to come for sure. Let me know what you think of this settlement in the comments. Thank you so much for watching.
Billy cannot go into court and say that I have been reinstated. He has not.
Nope.
Yeah.
He's been added to the history of when people held the record. And when he held the record, nobody knew he cheated. Then he was removed. The balls of that guy to brag about.
I like how like Billy Mitchell is one of his patrons. That's funny.
Oh, is he? Is he
Yeah, go back. It says like Billy Mitchell, the second for the second list,
Second row
name.
at the top.
I wonder if that's a real one. That's too funny.
Billy Mitchell. Hey, there he is.
Nicholas.
Hey, R.I.P. CRP, Nick.
Do you know that Billy's scores were not reinstated, or were you f***ing with me?
I have no idea.
They
All I
have
know
not-
is Twin Galaxies put out the report.
No, and here there's a part that you missed.
What did I miss?
Twin Galaxies shall herefore reinstate Mr. Mitchell's scores as a part of an official historical database. Go look him up.
See, he's historical. That means he's the greatest of all time.
Yeah.
So it's like on a
What are we
different
missing
list.
here?
It's on a different list, not
So
the list.
basically, what Twin Galaxies did for the settlement is they set up their own Wayback Machine within the site. He's still not on the his records have still been removed. But if you look them up, what the records were in 2010, well, Billy Mitchell's on there.
Dude, he's the greatest of all time.
He really is. He really is, man.
I always believe I didn't doubt him for a minute.
He's not on the list. He's not in the top 10. He's not in the top 20. If you got
Yeah, it's because people got better since then. You know, I mean, the scores have improved.
They never asked anyone for anything.
And you know what Nick did, the dirty rat? Nick bought a Billy Mitchell autographed picture.
I have a shrine in my basement with Billy Mitchell.
I'm going to buy the Twin Galaxies stuff to support them, you dirty traitor.
Dude, because Billy Mitchell's the greatest of all time again. He's going to go up and value you.
Dude, come on.
Dude, it's going to go up and
He's a free
value you.
man.
You know, I told the guy, I go, I'm not paying $100 for this. I'll give you $50 because he cheated. That guy is probably really mad right about it.
That's so funny. God. Yeah, well, here's the thing. If you look up, if you're media, look up the top 10, 20 Donkey Kong guys, right? He's not on the list. He has not been
Todd
reinstated.
Rogers will be redeemed. It is Todd Rogers' time.
In a sense, you're right. Because
Excite. He is the greatest player of all time. He
was-
scored things that even mathematicians couldn't compute. Rogers will reign supreme.
So,
The player of
in
the
a
century
sense,
back.
in a sense, you're right. So if you go back to 1990 or 85, right? Todd Rogers was a record holder then on whatever game that he achieved on, and his name will be on there.
Exactly. This is it.
So everybody got reinstated.
So
to his
Billy
credit.
Mitchell is the video game player of the century, but the century he is the video game player of was the 1990s.
And here's the thing, and I wanted to argue with this you privately. I don't think this affects what's his face's case at all. The
Wait,
definition.
but once it became 2000, he was no longer the video game player of the century. It rolled over into somebody else.
Oh God! Oh my God! Oh, you're fucking killing me. Oh God. Well, anyway, I can't even think straight. Video game players. It's great. So it's really kind of an L for him, and nobody goes to court. And that means they don't destroy each other financially.
I think everyone got what they wanted.
Still gonna happen,
Everyone
though, right?
gets to leave without losing all
He's
their
not
money.
in the database.
Billy Mitchell, yeah, but Billy Mitchell now can go look on the website, and his son can see that he scored these scores. I mean, he can now continue walking around saying that these scores were real and that he got them, and he's look. I'm on Twin Galaxies, and Twin Galaxies doesn't have to go to trial.
I got a scary thing for you. His son's going to West Point. His son fucking repeats fucking Billy's lies left and right. That's who you're going to be. Your next general's going to be, everybody. Congratulations.
Sergeant Mitchell.
Sergeant.
General Mitchell, bro. It is General
Major.
Mitchell.
Captain. General. Full
My
bird
father's
colonel.
Billy Mitchell, sir. Do you think that I would lie, sir?